I don't know if it works.
Oh, look.
Are we live? We are contrasty though. Wow.
Yep.
Cool. All right.
Professional YouTubers.
This has been a day, huh? Let's see. Painting live at ReaperCon 2022. How about that?
Yeah, we are.
Let's switch.
I've been dancing, but you couldn't see
Oh, sorry.
me. I meant the camera couldn't see me.
Yeah, okay. Painting and chatting.
We're live at ReaperCon.
We are live.
And we're painting, and ReaperCon is happening behind us, and they just started paint by dye. So they'll be rolling a D20, and that determines what color you get to paint with next. So you'll maybe hear some of their announcements, which is exciting. I want to scoot my chair closer to Eric now. 20, and that determines what color you get to paint with next. Test. Great. I hope you're having a good evening.
It's been awesome, everybody.
I'm going to be painting a bugbear dressed as a pumpkin. I know you can't see that, but I don't want to throw a bow into Eric's face. So I'll be painting this, which is a Who mini.
It's a bugbear with a pumpkin head.
Yes, but is it a Reaper
It's
mini?
Reaper.
It's a Reaper mini. At ReaperCon 2022.
And let's see, chat. We're just going to close that. Bring up our window big.
Yeah.
Obviously, we are not at home. Now it's not even full. Reset UI. How about that? Yes. There we go. Okay. Hey, everybody.
Hi.
What an adventure. Where are we at? There we go. So I'm going to be painting. I forgot his name. I need to look him up. There we go. Look at that. It is like a little...
10-pound mini.
Yeah, a little Swamp Thing kind of underwater guy. Chibi style.
Yeah. It's super cute. It's got a big old gullet.
I can relate to
jowl, I suppose.
Jowl.
Gullet being the throat. So, Eric very helpfully packed all of the paints and everything, just like a handful of minis. So I'm excited to paint this bugbear, and I have pulled all of the browns and grays out of the collection of paint that Eric brought, and we're going to see what happens. And Eric's living his best life.
It's the robots, you know.
I just got my eyes checked in July, as I did last July before we got here, and there's nothing like being at ReaperCon that makes me feel like my prescription isn't right. Between the tiny detail on the minis, that like we went through the MSP earlier and saw all the amazing entries, and that's just like the starting point. A lot more people are going to be entering before. I think it's by 5 o'clock on Friday, maybe is the deadline.
Saturday.
It's on Saturday. Okay, so by 5 o'clock on Saturday, there are going to be a lot more entries, and I can't wait to see them all. But like the incredible detail that people are able to paint, I just feel like I need to get this close to the mini. And Eric often talks about he paints for 3 feet away instead of 3 inches away, but these people paint for 1 inch away, and I want to get close and see all the detail. But until I get that close, I feel like, oh gosh, like, do I need bifocals already? I'm excited.
Yes.
Not according to my doctor. All right, I have my painting supplies all pulled, so you are welcome to take this box.
Great. I'm gonna grab a different chair.
Here's a palette for you. Great.
What?
Nothing. I'm just talking to myself, and I'm excited about it. Cool. So my painting strategy is not one that you should follow. There are 1,000 people here who can paint and do a really awesome job, and I hope that they have YouTube channels too. This is a paint and chit chat.
Yeah, paint chat.
I'm here for the chit chat, and I will happen to be painting.
All right, where's our primer?
I didn't see
Did you take
any.
it out? Okay.
I thought I was just going to put
Brush
down.
on primer.
Well, there it is. I didn't grab it because it was bright white.
Bright
And I
white.
didn't need that color because I have Treasure Map was going to be my kind of neutral color, which is kind of a grayish, yellowish Treasure Map color, but maybe not quite as yellowed or tea-stained as I would think of a Treasure Map. That's to give you a sense of the color. It's certainly not bright white. All right.
Oh, we're red. Why are we red? Our internet connection? How's our feed look? Can you step away from it? And...
It's a little sawtoothed. Yep.
Now it's green again.
All right. Maybe we're back to being smooth. There we go.
No. Oh? Oh, there's such a delay. Oh, yeah, I don't think we can change it midstream.
But we're good now.
We'll have this figured out by tomorrow, hopefully.
You can hit me with a little bit of that. Thank you kindly.
So, if you are on our Discord, you will know priming Reaper Minis is a choice.
Optional.
But we're doing it.
I know I am.
Our internet, if it's still choppy, we're on the hotel Wi-Fi. If there was a premium upgrade, I would buy it.
Yes, he would.
If it was $100, I would buy it.
Yes, he would.
But what are you gonna do?
I think the pumpkin guts inside this pumpkin are really gross.
Yeah, it's pretty good though.
It's well done. I just think they're gross.
Okay, so we put some primer on our brush, and now I know we don't have our top-down camera, so it's like a little funky, but we're just gonna prime these up.
And the approach with primer is a thin coat?
Yeah,
Great.
because you don't want to block out your detail with just your primer, you know?
Sure.
Honestly, if it's like a super thin coat, I think you're A-okay. Because you're painting like a Bones Black or something,
Sure.
which, if it needs primer, is very debatable.
All right.
Metal ones, I definitely would prime.
Sure. Did he break?
No, he fell off.
Oh.
This thing breaks from falling off the table. But now I've got primer all over my hands.
Oh no. You got plenty of paper towels.
It'll work out. I brought the Army Painter speed paints.
I noticed that as I was pulling out my paint colors, I didn't want to try something new yet.
Yeah, I thought this would be a good place to try them out.
All right. That's exciting.
Yeah.
I am having quite the time getting primer into all of his little nooks and crannies.
Well, you're using a dry brush for some reason?
Because it seemed like this was spreading the paint around too thick, and I needed to pick some up and get some in the holes.
Well, I'm using like the most beat up brush I have.
Sure.
But whatever works. I definitely think we have enough primer for like 6 minutes.
Well, yes, I was surprised by how much you gave me considering the thin coats were needed, but we're all just doing the best that we can. And I think that's nice. The first time I ever ever primed a mini, and the next time I ever primed a mini, right here at this table.
The same table, we're in the same spot.
First time was last year. I'd never primed a mini before, much to Decimation's chagrin, and I haven't primed a mini since. Granted, since I was at ReaperCon last, I think I've painted a mini.
Yeah.
So.
And in fact, this is so our table for this. Our awesome friend Reaper John asked if we were going to be streaming from our usual table.
It was really nice.
Yeah.
And then they helped us move the table. A couple of people helped us move the table closer so we didn't have a tripping hazard with our
Yeah,
power
we
cord.
weren't supposed to like knock people over or anything.
Well, that's good advice.
Yeah, I might need new tack. This stuff's not holding at all.
Something else really cool about being 35 is that from being bent over painting and using a different chair to work from today, like on my computer, my back hurts. So there's a little something, a little nugget.
It's a good little nugget.
Thank you.
Alright. Think we are properly primed. Look, the mini is like wobbly.
I don't suppose you have extra tack?
No.
Would you like me to go see if someone has some?
No.
Okay.
I've got it like locked in.
All right. Locked in but wiggly. Hi, Rivers. Thanks for joining us again. I hope you had a good day at work.
We've been here the whole time.
JK. Rivers, I forget, do you paint minis at all?
I'm glad Rivers is here generally, but also specifically so I know this is out there. Oh, Blue Comet. Howdy, y'all. Maybe the alerts just went
Blue
out.
Comet.
We are painting some Reaper stuff. I'm painting a, come on. Oh my God. This, never will I ever trust a Logitech Brio 4K webcam. Never. I'm painting a little frogman.
I'm painting a bugbear with a pumpkin head. There you go. I'm just in the priming stage right now.
This year we didn't bring our whole fancy camera setup and everything. Fatal mistake.
Regrets.
Deep regrets, just for my frustration level. Which I don't know if anybody knows. I get frustrated sometimes. Siempre. Alright. We are going to wait for this primer to dry on this guy. I think we're in good shape.
I hope it's okay to just like slap primer on haphazardly.
Yeah, just...
I mean, theoretically, I should be setting down a smooth, perfect base.
So normally when I prime, I like to prime black.
Rivers is trying to watch college football too, which I think is awesome. Go team.
Yeah.
We appreciate you opening the stream. Thank you.
We won't talk too much. JK, we'll talk too much.
It's in my nature. Typically, you said you like to prime black.
Oh, yeah, because I like the black. That way it kind of gives you... I think when you put the color on it, it makes the color more poppy.
Sure.
And, of course, if you miss any spots, it's already in those dark shadows.
Sure.
So it's very convenient that way.
That's a good strategy.
Any Spelljammer mini news? So I'm looking at this tiny screen.
Hey, Dave Lovato.
Yeah. Oh, this is helpful.
Here.
Oh, okay. So Dave Lovato, you know, one time I met Demi Lovato. I've actually met Demi Lovato twice. I ate Demi Lovato's yogurt in 2009.
Yes. That actually happened.
It's true. Spelljammer mini news. No, so Reaper, they do minis that have not copyright Wizards of the Coast names. But there are plenty of, and in fact, we actually just got a box of Chrono Trigger minis from Reaper. It's from Bones 4, and that's kind of like space-themed stuff. It's not my jam. I'm definitely a fantasy guy, but it's very cool. But Spelljammer minis in general, like from WizKids, yes, I mean they have. If you can go to dndmini.com right now, you can check out. They've got ships. And then minis from the actual, like character options and monsters and stuff. Todd, did you bring your own stuff to paint, or is this something part of ReaperCon? So, we did bring the stuff that we're painting here, because we like to bring our own stuff. But you can paint here with their stuff. they have hobby hijinks. So you can go over, and it's kind of like a game painting. So it's like, okay, everybody, we're gonna use red. This mini you're gonna paint in red. This mini you're gonna paint to look like uh, Taco Bell colors or like what, like random, and they do a whole huge variety, and it's a lot of fun. It seems like we've never actually done it because we're always over here, but
Yeah, they do speed painting over there. I was saying at the start they
Mhm.
do roll by or paint by roll. So they
part of it, yeah.
roll a d20 and then whatever number comes up is assigned to a paint color, and that's the color that you paint with for a little while.
Mhm.
So they do kids painting stuff. It's
And
fun.
of course, there are painting classes, so you can show up. I think generally you're supposed to bring kind of some basic stuff with you, but I think there are some like beginner classes that have standard stuff covered. And then on top of that, if you're just hanging out, there's tons of tables, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, here's the whole, and it's more. It wraps around the other side too.
Yeah.
A lot of those tables have painter people that if you want to paint stuff, you can probably ask them if you can sit down if they have any extra stuff.
Yeah.
And they'd probably be like, yeah, come on. Like right now, maybe not because we're streaming, it might be a little funky.
Yeah.
But if we were just like sitting around the two of us painting and you went and was like, oh, you got extra stuff? Yeah, come on over. So it's fun. I like the atmosphere here a lot. Dave, love the channel. Just subscribe. Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Appreciate that. Yeah, this is we're obviously like in our house streaming, and we got overhead cameras and all sorts of fancy stuff. But here we're just kind of going with it. Rivers thought Todd's question was good, and I agree. I love taking questions. Seriously, I love hearing myself talk. I love talking.
He's got a YouTube channel.
I love sharing sometimes helpful advice. And
it's the Michigander in him.
It's the Michigander in me. So the more questions you ask, I will never get tired of you asking questions. And if you want to ask even more questions, join us over at discord.gg/FryMinis and come hang out. And I've got pictures of a bunch of ReaperCon stuff over there. So like all the things we got in the swag boxes and the VIP boxes and the Barrowgate box.
Yeah, I'm never going to say that right the first time.
And the hotel box or bag.
I was trying to find a sign with the words on it, but
Oh, yeah, it's
Barrowgate.
And then should we spill the secret about what I'm drinking?
Sure.
I don't know if you're allowed to bring booze into a hotel,
Stop.
but we did. Fred says, hi, Eric and Julie. Hi, Fred.
Hi, Fred.
Dave, how do you feel about Reaper's paint line? So, we love Reaper paint line. That's our primary paint. So we use contrast or Citadel contrast paints, but for actual normal paint, 95% of it we use Reaper. We have some Army Painter stuff. We have some. There's a company called Huge Minis, and they started out with like painting or like grass and kind of rocks and flowers and stuff like that. But they did a paint Kickstarter, and it's fulfilled, and we've been sitting on it way too long. We haven't opened it yet, but it's sitting.
I was going to say, I don't remember seeing those paints.
Yeah, it's like
not a drag.
Like 2020, 2021. Yeah, and so those are sitting in a box. We need to review those. Rivers, I watched the stream. Oh, I will say.
Thank you.
I will say, going back to Dave, I'm sorry. I don't super love Reaper's washes.
I was shaking a bottle of paint and I threw it at myself.
They have a new super wash line that we got it. It's upstairs.
We unboxed it today.
Yeah. We haven't tried it out yet, and I'm eager to try it. But Reaper washes, to me, are the weak spot in the Reaper paint line. Rivers, okay, I watched the stream from earlier. Would love to get to ReaperCon someday. Yeah, man. If you ever do, come on down, and we'll hang out. Absolutely. If anybody is ever here at ReaperCon, I'm always wearing something Like this is my Gallant Goblin FryMinis Painter Judge shirt.
Yeah.
I've got like a hoodie that I'll probably have on most of the rest of the time, and I've got a hat. So if you ever see us, come say hi.
I'm wearing something with sleeves because it's always freezing here. As I joked earlier, but I will recycle. This is my Texas winter coat. I have an actual winter coat.
Yeah.
I grew up in the Chicago suburbs. I know what cold is. But it's always winter coat weather in here.
Also, just on the off chance anybody ever just randomly says hi to Julie, and you act like you know her, say, "I've seen you on the stream." Something so we have any idea of what you're talking about. Please, we ran into that earlier.
I am not the face of FryMinis. I forget that we do this sometimes. I love being a guest and I love doing this together, but this is Eric's thing. You know what I mean?
Okay, so how to D&D question. This is Fred from the Southern Hemisphere. Shout out
New Zealand.
So Hemi.
Can I have a water dropper, please?
Oh, yeah.
If I need to fill it, I can.
Yeah.
BRB.
Okay, so Fred, will we get to see your nice faces and the miniatures you are painting? Well, hopefully you can see our faces. We just got this primed, so my primer is drying. It's kind of like a frog man. But yes, we will paint it more. We're just waiting for the primer to dry. And same for Julie.
Yes.
You did a very thin coat. It's impressive.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see.
Does the top come off, or do you just suction it?
No. Take just pull it. Just like yeah. Flutes Loot.
That was impressive.
Greetings. How to D&D. Hi, Jordan. Flutes Loot. Hey, Fred. Flutes Loot. Hey, Rivers. Rivers. Hey there.
Okay,
How to D&D. Hi, Rivers. Rivers. Fred. Dave. How to D&D is in the house. How to D&D. Dave. Hi.
Why are you doing this?
Because this is fun. I love talking to people.
Talking to people is different from reading a transcript of the chat. Oh,
This used to be full.
my love. All right, I have watered down some. I wouldn't dare use turkey brown because that's Eric's favorite paint. So I watered down some nut brown, and I'm going to attempt using thin paint. So something that I learned walking through the MSP Open is that I use paint right out of the bottle, and everybody else seems to water it down a whole lot, and that just makes a mess when I try to do it. But good painters water down their paint, so
Yeah. So well,
I'm gonna try it.
combo on that, right? So Reaper paint generally, to my impression, is generally fairly thin compared to a lot of other paints. So you generally don't need to water it down too much. And generally, those fancy painters are using wet palettes, which will automatically thin it a little bit more too. And then if you just take the paint from like the edge where it's, then you're automatically kind of like naturally thinning it. You're not just dumping water. But we're not using wet palettes, so you're good.
And if I mess up this mini, I'll buy another one.
Well, this is actually like a special edition one. But it doesn't matter.
Mess up this mini, it's one less like gray closet of shame for Eric.
Yeah. Okay, flutes. Is ReaperCon a minis thing? Yes. So Reaper, the company, Reaper Miniatures, their primary thing is miniatures. They make metal miniatures. Their primary thing, the thing they're most famous for, is this bones material. And there are a couple different versions. There's like regular bones USA, bones black, but it's this like really good blend of like a durable plastic that still gets really great detail quality. So like WizKids, those can be outside of the super heavy primer they put on those. Those are fairly delicate, right? And they're pretty stiff. So if you drop one, there's a decent chance you're going to break it. If you just drop a regular Bones mini on the ground, you can run it over with the truck, and you'll be okay. I don't know about that far, but you get the point. But yeah, this is a mini event. There's a painting competition. We usually win bronze, hoping for silver, but some of the competition this year is like there's always amazing stuff here, but this year I've particularly been like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So
we saw nothing but winners today. It was humbling.
And it's not the first, second, third place. Like it's a point system, so you can have like literally if everybody showed up and with incredible minis, everybody could win a gold,
Yeah.
right? But it's really strict on the points you required to get there. But my entry this year, and don't tell the judges, I think is not my strongest entry ever. So I think there's a not zero chance that I don't even get a bronze. That's my fear, but we'll figure it out. So yes, ReaperCon is a minis thing.
But there are games.
Oh yeah, yeah, and there's like Adventurers League, and there's Pathfinder Society, and stuff like that. It's at an embassy suite, so it's not like a Comic-Con size, obviously, or even like a C2E2 or a Fan Expo size thing. It's a lot smaller. But the people here are minis people. I mean, and game people, but it's like, it's a more specialized event. I find like at the bigger conventions, you got more passerby kind of people.
Sure. I would agree with that.
Yeah. Okay. Dave. Back to Dave Lovato. What's your opinion on Reaper's brushes? I like Reaper's brushes.
I've never used one.
Oh. We've got a bunch right here.
Nope.
Oh. So I'm not good enough of a painter to really know the difference between like super nice brushes. And I just brought a random batch, but I've got Reaper, I've got Army Painter, I've got a bunch of like Amazon brushes, I've got some super duper cheap brushes for applying stuff, I've got some Citadel brushes. I do like the Army Painter brushes a lot. And don't take my opinion as fact on this, but I feel like the Reaper brushes, when I get them, when they're new, when I first use them, they're excellent, and they're great for a while, a couple of minis, and then they turn into good. And that might be because I store them like I have a rack, and so they all sit like this. And that's not the best way to store your brush because then the paint dries in the
metal part.
It's an F word. I forget what it is. But it dries in there, and then the brushes spread up. The individual brush strands spread apart. So it could be me not taking care of it. But so generally positive. But I would say I like Reaper paints more than I like Reaper brushes. Reverse question: how many minis did you buy so far at the con? So buy standalone minis, just a couple. We bought Galadoria Games. They're in the like vendor area. We always get something from them. They're so great. And I don't think they remember us, and I don't expect them to remember us.
No, not at all.
But they have these like little blind bags. It's
like a small black envelope.
Yeah, and it's got a random mini. So they 3D model sculpt their own minis, and then they print them, and they're all like original, and they're really good. Like so many mimic designs this year. It seems like they're kind of heavy on terrain stuff. Like we got some chests. Really, I always like their stuff. I got a coffin mimic from them.
Yeah.
Very cool. Galadoria Games. And we got, I forget who.
I got their card, but yeah, I don't remember.
I do think those ones, I don't know this, but I do think those were just like 3D printed minis, not like originals.
Not
I could be wrong.
Designs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we have like this like spiky frog. Guess who? And this really cool like Myconid sovereign kind of.
It looks awesome.
We don't have them down here with us, but they're really great.
Yeah.
Let's see. Rivers. Question. I thought bones didn't need primed, or are you painting metal minis? So that's a very good question. So this one is metal, and you would always want to prime a metal mini. Bones minis, you don't need to prime. I want to be very clear. You do not need to prime minis or Reaper Bones minis. You do need to wash them. You need to soap and scrub them. One time, I had a stream where I was painting an ogre, and it was it was a Reaper Bones Black ogre, and I just started painting it, and it wasn't primed, and I got more horrible comments.
Not horrible.
Not horrible, but negative. You're crazy. Don't do this. You don't know how to. Why are you making a video if you don't even know you need to prime a mini? It's just like bonkers, and it stirred so much drama. So now we do that. Now we prime our bones generally. Now,
On a stream, anyway.
yeah, I will say, I think priming a bones mini will get you better results. Yes, I think that I can take it from like, I'm making up a scale here, but I can make it from like a 9 out of 10 on without primer into a 10 out of 10 with primer in like how well it takes the paint if it's clean. So yes, ultimately better. Is it worth it? That's the question. Oh my god, Rivers, dude, bones, you have to hot water, dish soap, toothbrush. Otherwise, it's just gonna bead. It's gonna be awful. Flutes, right on. Yeah, I'm taking a long time with these answers. I know. Todd, I retire old brushes to dry brushing duty. That's good. So that's how Julie was priming.
Here's mine. You can't even see. It's not angles. What? Anyway, it's this is a good friend.
Yeah.
It's been through a lot. Let's see.
Yeah, so I'll usually, my old brushes, those turn into like acrylic application brushes. So like gloss and varnish and stuff. That's gonna not be super great for the brush. If I'm mixing up glue and water to where I'm gonna put like grass on, like something like that, something that's not going to be super great for the brush. That's usually what I save those for. But dry brushing is great. Dave, did you do a walkthrough of the vendor area? So we did, like we personally did a walkthrough. We did not do a walkthrough stream. And this is we're on the laptop right now, and I don't think we're going to do that because it's one of those things that there's so many people, and here we're off in the corner, and there are people back there, right? But you're not like looking right at them. You're looking at us, and you can see them in the background. If we do like a phone stream, like it's just like, oh hey, here's a person, a person, and I don't feel great about that. Rivers, never watched them yet. Flutes, do you have 3 tips for someone getting started with minis and painting? 3. Okay. How about I do 3, then you do 3?
Sure.
Okay. So think about it.
Yep.
Okay. First tip. Don't worry about it. It's gonna suck. your first couple are gonna be absolute garbage. So don't. Well,
These are your tips.
These are my tips.
Those are your tips.
So they're going to be. Are we even in focus? I think it's good enough. Are we in focus
it's
enough?
Just us.
Is it okay? How do we look? Okay. Tip 1. For your first handful of minis are gonna not be good. If you go to this isn't to get a plug, but if you go to Instagram.com/FryMinis and you scroll all the way down to our very first post, I don't post on there a lot anymore because I don't paint a lot anymore. But the very first mini I ever posted was the first mini I ever painted, and it was bad. I didn't have the right kind of paints. I didn't have the right kind of brushes. I had no clue what I was doing. So I know it's tempting. You've got a new character. You bought a Hero Forge mini, and you go in and you buy some apple barrel paints from Walmart or whatever. Don't do it. Well, do it if you want, but I would recommend trying other systems first. So like if you and this is true story. This is one of the reasons that we like so much about Reaper is they have these learn to paint kits. And that's how I learned how to paint. Like, we'd watch YouTube videos and stuff too, but actual brush to mini with that orc holding the sword, everybody knows. There's a dude holding a treasure chest and a skeleton, and it walks you through all the basic techniques on how to paint. It comes with paint, it comes with brushes, it comes with minis, and it's like $35. And it's got full step-by-step instructions. Do a kit. Do a Reaper kit. I can't recommend it enough. So, number one is, don't worry. Tip number two. Tip number one is pretty big. Tip number two is kind of tip 1.5, I guess. Don't worry about getting all the details super perfect, right? Like, get your primary colors blotted out, like your main color patterns and patches. Like if it's a wolf, get like gray on the main and then the brown on the rest or whatever. And then do a dry brush, which is literally just getting a little bit of paint in your brush, wiping 95% of that paint off into a napkin, and you're gonna think, oh, I wiped too much off, but you didn't. And then you just take and you just go, and that'll go across, and then it'll get all of the like raised edges. So like if it's a wolf, all those hairs that are sticking up on the sculpt, you'll hit just those top points, and it's gonna look amazing. And if you show it to people who don't know anything about minis, they're gonna think you painted every single one of those. And then once you've done that, find a nice wash or really, really thin down of paint, and then you paint it over, and it'll go into the crevices of all that. So you'll have your highlights from your dry brush, and then you'll have your shadows from the wash, and it's gonna look good. You're gonna be happy with it. And third tip, just try again. Don't get too sad with step one when it doesn't look good. And then if step two, using basic techniques, if that doesn't work, just keep going at it. Just like anything in life, the more you do it, the more practice you get. That's my 20-minute answer to 3 tips.
I thought those were all pretty great. And not surprisingly, my tips are going to be very similar. My first tip is the same as Eric's, which is set your expectations low. I remember as a child, when, like art class was one of my favorite classes. I haven't done anything with it. I'm not like an artistic person, but I loved art class. And when your art teacher in like 3rd grade tells you like, oh, we're going to make this, and maybe they show you a demo and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to make something that cool. And then you get done with it and you're like, this is a pile of not good. That still happens as an adult. You can envision it so perfectly done, but can
absolutely.
You execute it that way? Not necessarily. And yeah, we have better fine motor skills than a child, and we know our skills a little bit better, and we have a better understanding of color theory, but I still feel that way, that my vision for what was going to come out versus what actually happened there's a big gap there. And I think even the people who I think are absolutely incredible painters who win the Spud Club Painting Challenge every month, they feel that way about what they paint too. So I think that's kind of an ongoing, that's how you get better and whatever. But like when you first get started, set your expectations a little bit lower than you would like, because it is tough and you can't just pick it up and do it, even as a full-grown adult who understands how to mix paint. Item 2 is also, yes, do a little bit of educational stuff, whether that's just looking at other people's minis or sitting down with somebody who really knows how to paint and trying to get some advice from them, watching YouTube videos, or doing one of the paint kits like Eric suggested. I think those are really fantastic things to do. I've never done any of those. I've watched Eric paint, and that, gives you something, but I haven't even sat down to watch him in the way that I think like a new painter maybe should. So I have the added benefit of I never really paid for a mini, and anything that I burn through is just kind of painting for fun. So I'm not working toward anything. It's more to pass the time and do something that's a little bit fun that I hope turns out well than it is to be actually skill based. So there's that.
Yeah.
And the third thing I would say is start with bigger minis. Starting off with a person is really, really tough. So even as I was looking through the boxes of minis to paint for this stream right now, Eric grabbed, like I said, a random assortment of minis, and a lot of them were people, like human-looking people or elves or things like that. I've never painted one of those.
That's why I got the gorilla for you.
Thank you.
I got that one specifically for you.
They're just too small, and being able to paint something that's still a medium creature, but is on the bigger end of medium can be really, really helpful. So if you're going to start out painting a human face, good luck. I think that's awesome and very ambitious if you've never painted a mini or anything like it before. But starting with something larger that you can actually see no matter how old you are or how good your glasses are, I think it's just a really good way to start.
Yeah. 2 bonus tips. Eyes. I'm telling you, eyes can be the hardest part of the mini, but I recommend you do a basic eye, okay? So all you do is you paint white in the eye, and then you get one of those micron pens. I forgot to bring one, but it's a micron pen. It's like a super, super tiny art pen, and you literally, I'm just telling you, you just go boop, 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 and then you just have like that black, and it's gonna be so much better than trying to get a tiny paintbrush. Now, once you're like super pro and you can do like the eye circle and all that, like of course.
Yeah.
But just getting started, or if you're just banging out a bunch of minis, like it's gonna be so good. And then, second bonus tip for that part: when you're doing the eyes, when you do the whites, if you're having trouble getting like a circle, if you have to use a paintbrush, do a vertical pupil. That's just like a little line up and down, because that'll keep you away from looking surprised. Looking like a freaked out dot of a mini, that of an eye, that can be the challenge. Okay, and then real tip number 2: when you're starting, and other people have this too, but like Reaper, you can get a set of like 7 goblins, all still like on a sprue connected at the feet. Like a bunch of them, right? I don't know how many, but a bunch. For a couple dollars. Get a bunch of the same mini and just paint them. And paint them all, try to do them all the same, but better each time. And then when you look at the first one and the last one, I think you'll see an improvement.
Yeah.
All right. Long answer, but very good question.
Great question. Thank you for asking it.
Yes. Okay, flutes. I wonder about starting points to avoid wasting time. Or money. Yeah, exactly. So I think we covered that. But yeah, get cheap minis, get some Reaper bones. That'll be a great starting point. But honestly, like WizKids, they've got some like it's $5 and you get 2 medium minis usually. That's not terrible. Rivers, can you take a picture of the vendor hall and then splice together a video? Well, that's the same thing. It's still a bunch of people. I don't know. I'll see if I can get in there empty or something.
At the very least, on their website, ReaperCon.com, you can see a list of all of the vendors who are here, and that links out to all of their websites. So if you're interested in knowing who's here, that's a good way to do it. If you'd like to know what kind of stuff is here, there are a lot of different mini creators. There are some 3D printers who just have like dice towers or minis like we picked up. There are custom game creators here. There are terrain creators here, and some like resale shops.
Yeah.
Like your friendly local game store, but they're here.
Flutes. I love garbage minis already. So that's fine. I have off-color Chinese Pokemon minis. Perfect. And that's the thing. Test it out. It's I'm telling you, it's like riding a bike. Like you can learn how to ride on a really crappy bike because you're just getting used to like balancing your body, just like you're getting used to your hand holding the brush and going from your eye. So absolutely.
And I think just to speak to kind of the cost of the hobby, like Eric said, the $30 Learn to Paint kit comes with a lot of base colors, and if you are at a point where you're stressed out about ruining like a $5 mini, I don't paint $20 minis because that is too much for me. But if ruining a $5 mini is going to be stressful for you, this might not be the right hobby.
And that's fair. And like, it doesn't feel good to say, but
No,
yeah. But I mean, there's a cost to this hobby. You're not whittling where you just need to buy a knife one time and then you go find a
Right.
tree.
And if you're going to paint your paint minis that you buy, that's $5 a mini. And if, I don't engage in things that are stressful as a route to fun. So
Now, if you want budget or like low price per mini, look at things like Reaper Bones Kickstarters when they do that. And for a couple $100, we're just hyping up Bones Kickstarters is a great way to get a large volume of minis for first time painters.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is always nice, especially the core set, is what
Yeah.
people say.
yeah,
Totally.
Because I've heard a bunch of stories about people in the past that did the old Kickstarters. They said, "Oh, it's just too many minis, so I always gave them to my friends," or something like that. So you
Yeah.
have a bunch of bugbears, and they're like, "Oh, here, have a few."
Yeah.
Things like that. So that's what
Yes.
I
Been there.
What are y'all using as your microphone?
Just the Brio. Last year we brought the whole camera and we had a Wave 3 and we were very fancy. And this year we thought we'd streamline it. And
Okay.
I would not. This is not for the future.
Oh, okay, I was about to say I don't know how the audio is, but
The audio is not super great. I think it's fine.
yeah, I can see it peaking a little bit.
yeah.
I was because I've been looking at those little Rode microphones.
Oh, yeah.
The Rode Go's, the new
Mhm.
ones. Those look really good. So, not trying to sell anything. Not
No.
a sponsor.
No, yeah, we'll probably just bring the Wave back. Normally we use the Shure SM7B at home, but
Nice.
we're fancy.
I didn't mean to crash. I was just being.
No, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay. Have a good night.
Right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good
All
to
right.
see you.
If you don't know who that was John. He works for Reaper. He's super cool.
Subtle.
Subtle, yeah. I like him.
He does mean that, yes. I don't know her, but I think John's great.
Okay. A good tip for this is Rivers. A good tip for painting is to try to have fun with it. Totally.
Agreed.
Totally. In addition to the Reaper Bones Kickstarters, which like literally like $125 and you get hundreds of minis. It's like 25 cents a mini.
Sure.
It'll work out.
Yeah.
But there are other Kickstarters like it was a bad example, but Blacklist Miniatures, we did their Kickstarter, and they
I've
haven't
heard more about the Blacklist Kickstarter in the last
because it's
week.
been years and it hasn't arrived.
I know.
He did call me out, but I don't want to drop it because how bad is our audio, chat? Let me know. But yeah, there are tons of Kickstarters that do things like that. Okay. Rivers. What are you drinking, Eric? Or what was I drinking? That was a little bit of Diet Coke mixed with some bourbon. Not my normal bourbon, but it was a Baton Rouge bourbon.
It was from our good friends who came to stay with us from Baton Rouge. And
Yeah.
I don't remember what brand it was. It's got a pretty bottle.
What do they say in Baton Rouge?
Go Tigers.
No. Whatever the slogan they say, it's got that name in it. Yes, halflings, Rivers. Halflings are tough to paint.
Yes.
Halflings are tough to
Oh
paint.
my goodness. And yet I saw so many incredible halflings that are better than like a full-size palm that I would be able to paint. I mean, just amazing in the open painting thing. And I think all the entries are all of the entries to the MSP, Master Paint Series, whatever, are posted to the onlines at some point. So you, even if you're not here, you should be able to see all of them. And they're inspiring and humbling.
Is it Houdat? Is it Houdat?
I don't know that that's a particular Baton Rouge saying.
Okay.
I would think of that as more New Orleans, if anything. I don't know.
Great.
I can't yes and my way out of this one. I have no idea.
No, you could remember.
That's not my my job.
Okay. Flutes. Micron with the boop boop eyes. Got it. Yeah. Yeah.
Actual advice, and it's not bad.
River says cool about the website, and that's about ReaperCon.com. My wife would kill me if I did a Kickstarter. Rivers. All right. I don't know your relationship, but it is very different than our relationship. Flutes. I was surprised you sound so good and have such a good connection, actually. Yeah. So we did drop down to red on our connection on our Wi-Fi because we're on just hotel Wi-Fi. But the Logic Brio, I think the mic in it is for a webcam. Don't get me wrong, is pretty solid. And the audio or the video at home is pretty good because we have like 3 Brios. I have one that I use for work. This one we're actually using is technically Julie's. And then we have another one somewhere. Audio's okay. Thank you, Rivers. Flutes. They probably just quote that country song. Baton Rouge is a city in the South.
He's talking about Calling Baton Rouge by Garth Brooks.
I don't know that.
Operator, won't you pull me out through? Gotta send my love in the Baton Rouge area.
I don't know. But you're such a good singer that you're going to get us copyright
I know, that's
strike.
why I did like a high-pitched voice.
I thought that was Garth Brooks' voice. I only know Garth Brooks from his wife's cooking show.
That's true. That is the only way that Eric knows Garth Brooks because he didn't grow up in my mom's house. I know a lot of 90s Garth Brooks.
Flutes.
Like a lot.
Hadozi got changed on D&D Beyond, by the way. Interesting. I wonder if they're going to publish an article on D&D Beyond about it. So the Hadozi is the monkey type race.
Okay.
And it's got a lot of eyeballs on it right now for racial insensitivity.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it, but as soon as you said what it was like, oh, God.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I don't know that I'm the most qualified person to speak to it.
That sounds right.
The only thing I'll say, though, isn't about that, but, like, this book has been out for a while, right? And there have been thousands of reviews, but did nobody want to speak up? This was the one book we didn't get, so we haven't reviewed it. So I don't know, like, content creator chat. What's going on?
Yeah, I guess.
Because I mean, it's been out for like a month now, right? A couple weeks. And as far as I know, it was like that Twitter guy was the one who was like, "Hey, actually, this might not be great." Yeah. But I'm glad they're trying to fix it.
Yeah. I don't know anything about it, but in general, if people are saying like, "Hey, this isn't great,"
Agreed.
I tend to listen.
Agreed. Flutes. Julie, are you an improviser talking about yes and?
No.
No, we just have standard level knowledge.
I read, so Tina Fey and Amy Poehler are some of my favorite people. So I read both of their books, and they both talk about yes and it comes up more often than one might think in just life.
Mm-hmm.
Rick and Morty reference it. I also read Rachel Dratch's book, and she referenced it. And there's a lot of... I listened to the Moth podcast for a little while, which is a storytelling podcast. And I swear to you, every of the 1,000 episodes of the Moth podcast, which is on NPR, there's some SNL person on there who's talking about how the SNL process works. And I cannot stand SNL with anything that I am, but all they talk about is like how the process for shows go, and that you run through it, and then you decide what sketches to cut that night, and that's how it goes in the pitch meetings, and Lauren doesn't laugh at anything, and like he's really scary, and yes and like, oh my god, like, just shut up about yes and.
Okay, one thing I saw on Twitter or Reddit or somewhere. It's related. Uh, and I guess if this is politically you don't agree with me, then I don't care. Um, so so in Alaska, I'm sorry, I forget her name, but
Sarah Palin.
lost to a person I think with indigenous
Oh, I'm not
ancestry.
sure.
Yeah, but and so Sarah Palin lost, which is great, right?
Yeah.
But the message was like, you know, I could have used some more Tina Fey, Sarah Palin impressions. And I was like, yeah, that would have been great.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like silver lining if that had gone, but I cracked up when I read that.
I can tell.
I like Tina Fey a lot. I think not everything she does is super nice,
Yeah.
but I think she's funny. Flutes. Julie knows the song. Yes.
I do. I absolutely do. My sister's dog that she got in college, that was her first dog, and at this point her only dog, R.I.P., was named Rodeo, not because of the Garth Brooks song. So I know that. I'm going to get real for a minute. So my mom had this early onset dementia. It was awful. It was horrible. By 60, she was not able to do basic functioning, take care of herself things. She remembered my name. She knew who I was. It wasn't like your grandma's Alzheimer's. It was different. But she would always know, hi, Julie. And when I'd say I love you, she would usually say it back. And sometimes she didn't. And I would be like, this is because of that thing I said to you when I was 16, Mom. Don't be funny. Anyway, I took her home from a doctor's appointment once, and at that point she wasn't really talking and didn't know very much, but when I turned on Friends in Low Places, she sang along with me because it was back in the memory that still existed, and it was really special. So Friends in Low Places will always be a Joy Soda's classic to me.
Yeah.
I know my Garth Brooks. I don't know Chris Gaines as much as I'd like to.
I think this is in response to me saying, why didn't anybody catch the Hadozi thing?
Oh.
It's a good question, Flutes. It's a good question, huh? I have access to D&D Beyond because of someone sharing with me, but I didn't go read the lore and stuff. Yeah. I'm not calling out anybody specific. Sorry. Flutes.
I think the question is more they had a lot of people reviewing this, and if all of the people that they had in the room didn't recognize that this was a problem or potentially a problem, they don't have the right people in the room doing the initial reviews.
Yeah. Quick pause. Rivers got to go to bed. 4:20 comes fast. I'm in the Eastern time zone. Oh, that's when he wakes up. Good night, Rivers. Thank you for spending time with us.
Thank you so much, Rivers.
Flutes. Improv principles are fantastic life skills.
Sure.
Yeah. So I used to work in stores, and I talked to a lot of business people. In my current, I'm communications for a very large company, and one thing I always try to factor in when I talk to people is what answer do I want them to come up with next. So you always want to phrase a question where, obviously, everybody knows closed-ended questions that are yes, no, or whatever. But you want to set up a path that reasonably has a chance to get with the direction you're going. And so I feel like yes and is in that same ballpark. Lol.
Sure. You know how people give out life advice all the time, and sometimes there's really trendy life advice, when you start seeing all of the same quotes on Pinterest at the same time. Nobody uses Pinterest anymore. On Instagram at the same time. Yes, and other basic improv rules have gone through that spiral.
Yes, and
I tell my therapist that if there's something that can be stitched on a pillow, I don't want to hear it. Take that for what you will.
Flutes. That's so sweet. That is a classic. I'm sure that's in response to Joyce.
Yeah.
Sia Rivers. Flutes. I have a friend who tried to set me up with a girl, and he said she looked like Sarah Palin as a selling point. I was like, IDK, man. Wow. Yeah.
Having to
That is funny.
having to look at Sarah Palin all the time would stress me out.
Flutes. Blaze it, Rivers.
Blaze it.
Flutes. I gave my comment about improv life skills before Julie said how much she hated SNL people talking about improv. Ha 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 ha. So now it sounds like I'm offended.
Okay.
Yeah, we're slow on these, and I think this is on the high latency mode too.
Thanks for being cool with it. I appreciate it.
Flutes. Oh yeah, trendy life advice. I can see the improv stuff going through that social cycle while listening to it at Soul Cycle.
And that doesn't mean that it's wrong. That means that it's everywhere to the point that it can be grating. That's all I meant by that.
Yeah. How to D&D? Still here, just cooking.
What are you cooking?
Yeah, what are you cooking? It's probably like a sheep or something, right? Sheep meat? No? Mutton chops?
My mutton chops are all that whole grain, high fat.
Oh my god, what's the bread the elves eat in Lord of the Rings?
Wrong crowd.
Oh, come on.
Ezekiel bread?
No. Oh, no.
I'm not going to know this answer. I only know about Lord of the Rings because Brett McKenzie is in it. By the way, Brett McKenzie of Lord of the Rings fame as like Fizzbot or something that like everybody was obsessed with because he was just this weird, delicate, very elfish little
Lembas.
man.
Bob Grimminger. I'm interrupting you. Bob Grimminger. Lembas bread. Not sure if that's spelled right, but I don't know if it's spelled right either. But yeah, that's what we're.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you, Bob.
Glad you're here. If
Yeah, welcome.
nothing else than for that, because Eric's brain was going to explode if he
Yeah.
couldn't figure it out.
All right, sorry, please.
Brett McKenzie has a new album out. It's called Songs Without Jokes because there are no jokes. He's famous from being in Lord of the Rings and like there was this weird kind of underground love for his character and people started writing fanfic about it because he has a very elfish, sweet, feminine, beautiful face. But he was also Flight of the Conchords. That Brett, also known as Brit. New album. It came out this week. It's called Songs Without Jokes. It's very piano heavy. It's lovely. I don't like that kind of music. I listen to rap, but I wanted to give Brett a couple of listens, and it was worth it.
Wiki wild west, Jim West. Desperado, no you don't want none. Brett McKenzie. How to D&D? Rhino with pixies on the side.
Delicious. We'll be there soon. Looking forward to joining you for dinner.
Pixie points. That's what you call lady sideburns.
Mm-hmm.
Pixie points.
These are called pixie points, not sideburns. Although I called them lady burns for a
Yeah,
while. And
I like that.
That really delighted my hairstylist at the time, but they're called pixie points.
Also, I was thinking about how to learn how to paint stuff.
Mm-hmm.
WizKids has these new, not new, but newish paint night kits that has a mini, and they even link to videos on how to paint.
Oh,
And they've
cool.
got, brush and paints and everything included. Okay, so this is the Army Painter Speed Paint Starter Set. This is like their version.
This is yours to drink.
Oh, thanks.
I used it to fill up the water bottle, but I just...
I need it. All right. So inside, Army Painter has good packaging. So first of all, how to use it kit,
Love that.
and look at it, all their like a full range of 134.
Wow.
Wow, cool. And then they've got like a little ad book. But it's also got instructions built in about how to paint, how to use all their products, how to use spray. It comes with a brush, which, you know what, we'll use this brush. We'll try it out. And then our tray of speed paints. The speed paints, again, are like contrast paints from Citadel. And just a little card that says thank you.
And then on the back is nice.
Bob. Brett's Lord of the Ring character is Elf Escort, and I hope it isn't that kind of fanfic. It probably is that kind of fanfic.
It is. I was reading an interview with Brett recently about his new album, and he talked about how in like early Flight of the Conchords days, he and Jermaine would be out in New Zealand's theater district. I'm not familiar, whatever. But they'd be just begging people to come into their shows, and the only way that they developed a fan base was because of like people were really obsessed with his Lord of the Rings character. So they didn't care about the music or the jokes. They would just be there wanting to find him as the fancy elven boy. So I think his character I don't think is named in the movie. So I understand, like Elf Escort, totally get it. He was like given a name through fan fiction. It's a whole thing.
Boniferous.
That is not his name. I'm gonna look it up because now it's gonna bother me.
I'm not sure
This is good content. Here we are on our phones.
I'm not sure. Well, I'm trying to decide if I want to go blue or green with this guy.
Figwit. 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 It's the fan-created name for the then unnamed Brett McKenzie's elf. Yep. The name derives from an acronym for Frodo is great. Who is that? Figwit. So I'm not suggesting anybody search Figwit. I'm just letting you know that that's what I know about it. Also, what a babe. Like, literal babe, like child, and also,
Yeah.
gosh, those cheekbones, you know? He's got a beard now.
All right. This is the blue we have,
Love it.
and this is the green we have. I think blue.
I think blue. Oh,
Yeah, chat please. Now, one thing that's interesting about these speed paints is that they're dropper models. What?
my favorite flip you an answer. The first answer is Hip Hopopotamus versus Rhymenoceros because I love that song, and yes, sometimes my lyrics are sexist, but you lovely friends should know I'm trying to correct this. And any rhyme that includes phosphorus, incredible.
We're gonna try the High Lord Blue as our base.
My second
Ooh.
favorite.
It's got a
A mixer
shaky
in there.
ball in there.
My second favorite Flight of the Conchords song is My Ringtone When Eric Calls Me, and that has been that way since 2009 when I got my first iPhone and could customize a ringtone, and it is Fuda Fa Fa.
Do we drop? Are we there?
Oh no, if you can't hear my favorite Flight of the Conchords song, that'd be devastating.
Oh, no, we're there.
Good. What's your favorite Flight of the Conchords song?
The humans are dead.
That's a good one. I also love Boom Boom.
Boom, boom.
I think it's called Boom Boom. I recently, so in college, I purchased the DVDs from Target for season 1 and season 2. It was a big purchase, and watched them endlessly, or so I thought. And then I was recently talking with my friend about how I really love that show and she had never seen it. And so I watched all of season 1 again. It was all good. Oh my God. Eric just said to me the other day that I will be the most beautiful girl in the room.
ReaperCon.
In the whole wide room. I wasn't going to say the place. And they're all good. You know what I mean? Okay, so I told my friend, like, watch it, then I'll watch it through again so we can, like, talk about the episodes because it's been a while since I've seen it. And I watched through season 1, loved it. Started season 2, and I was like, maybe I never actually really liked this season. And I didn't finish it. The point is, I do love season 1, and there's nothing wrong with season 2, but it doesn't hold the same nostalgic place in my heart. And that's my story about Flight of the Conchords and Lord of the Rings and Brett McKenzie's new album, Songs Without Jokes, available on iTunes.
We did drop.
Oh no!
It was rough, but we're back.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, so to recap, favorite songs. Hip Hop Eponymous of He Rhyme Nasras. My ringtone, Fuda Fafa, which has been my ringtone since 2009, and it's exclusively when Eric calls me. And number 3, A Kiss Is Not a Contract.
This is not a
And
contract,
also, Boom,
but it's very nice.
very, very nice.
Oh.
And also Most Beautiful Girl in the Room.
This is Bowie to Bowie.
I don't care for that. I'm not a Bowie person. I realize that this is a deep, deep character flaw that I have, and you lovely friends should know I'm trying to correct this. But I won't. It's just, I don't like Bowie. It's not.
Flutes and Bob, thank you for your feedback. Flutes.
Thank
The
you.
one I sing, or here, that's still you.
Oh, the ones I sing most often are Robots, of course. Business Time.
That's.
Oh my God.
I can't. Yeah, I can't believe we didn't mention that.
Eric and I have been married for 11 years. I know that song.
We sing that, or at least make jokes about socks.
Oh, I talk about my business socks all the time. I'm wearing some right now because it's so cold in here.
Yeah, like weekly.
Yeah. Sometimes they're so ingrained in our life that I forget about it.
Yeah, 50 years from now, we will still be making those same jokes.
That's probably true.
I'm completely serious, too.
Yeah. I love that you might be basic. I think that's fantastic. I'm fine with it, you know?
I'm surprised you listen on Spotify to that. I never listen to their stuff on I guess you do.
I absolutely do. Because,
I always just pull up the YouTube video.
well, that's a good way to do it. I have listened to them on Spotify, and back in the day, so before graduating college in 2009, I had bootleg, jaggedy versions of all of their songs on iTunes, to the point that sometimes I believe that the song doesn't start or end where it does, because I think there should be an audio clip before then. Kind of
Did somebody held up their voice recorder because iPhones weren't really there yet?
Yes.
To their TV and recorded it.
It wasn't quite that bad, but it wasn't good. And I saw a tweet a long time ago. This is not my original idea, but it was where can I find a version of this song by Hoobastank that has the exact skipping sound in it that the version I downloaded from LimeWire had in 2003. And I think that about Flight of the Conchords songs sometimes. For nearly 10 years of marriage, I feel you on Business Time. You know, I just also love in that song / music video / clip from the show that Brett's just there. He's just there with his guitar sometimes. I think it's wonderful. And I think Jermaine delights me. Brett is my favorite Concord. I love them both so much, though, that it's really, really close.
What about Gail?
I like Gail, but what I want to say about that is that his name is Doug. And I know that because it is terrible, Doug. It's terrible. And Jermaine's features are too exaggerated to be considered classically handsome. Too strong? I don't remember the exact
It's my
quote.
turn to paint. You've got some work to do here.
Oh my God. Okay. So my bugbear is coming along. I have used the thin paint as discussed. I can't. Yeah. So it's some very thin coats. And I started watering down nut brown that I've used throughout and some Caucasian flesh to start painting his belly, because I want his skin to be a lighter color than his fur. I also struggled quite a bit because I initially put paint right on the center of his back, and it was too watery, and so I just kept moving it around and thinned it out, and then I was able to do multiple other coats of very thin paint every place else on this bugbear, but I kept going back to the small of the back, and it was still too wet, and all I was doing was pulling the paint off.
I get it.
But that's finally settled. I moved on to other things. Favorite Jermaine Clement movie roles? I haven't seen a ton. I love What We Do in the Shadows, although I'm not caught up on the latest episode. That's one of the shows that we watched together, which is rare.
Legion. It's a TV show. He was in Legion.
Yeah, I didn't watch that because it looked like there was some distressing scenes in it, so I'm out. I'm blanking on other things that he's been in. Please list your favorites.
Phil. Hey, Phil. How you doing?
Hey, Phil. What We Do in the Shadows is awesome.
Yeah.
We also watch Wellington Paranormal, which he's like left What We Do in the Shadows to focus more on Wellington Paranormal. I like it a lot. I really enjoy just New Zealand humor and New Zealanders as a people in the way that an entire people can be lumped into one thing. You know what I mean? So that delights me. I also really love Taika's movies. So there's my thoughts on all of that. But please tell me your favorite Jermaine Clement movie. I've never seen The Toast of London. I always have it in my Netflix queue, but I hate watching new things unless it's a show that I really like. So I haven't gotten around to it yet. But is it good? Have you seen it? I don't know.
This blue looks nice. This freaking webcam.
The talent they pulled into that show in the first and second season is ridiculous. Completely agree.
Oh my god. I give up.
Josh Berry is one of my favorite things in the entire world. I recently saw a tweet that was, if you put Josh Berry as,
Who's Josh Berry?
what's his name?
Matt Berry?
Matt Berry. That's embarrassing. That if you put Matt Berry as, he's not Nandor, he's,
Jackie Daytona.
yeah. If you put Matt Berry's What We Do in the Shadows character in the same room as Moira from Schitt's Creek, the overpronunciation and unnecessary like vowels that would be part of the conversation would leave no survivors. And that's my poor explaining of a tweet.
So this is the downside, is I've got this cup full of blue now.
Can he do it? Yes, he can. Okay.
Yeah.
Gentlemen Broncos. I
Oh,
never
the
saw
primer's
Moana.
so wet.
I never saw Moana. We have Disney Plus. I just haven't gotten around to it. You know what I mean? I did see Luca, and I did make the.
You saw Luca?
We watched it together. I saw it at Lisa's.
We did not watch Luca because I wanted to watch Luca.
I told you at the time when I was with my friend Lisa in Baton Rouge for her bridal shower, we watched it because her Italian family was insistent that we watch it. I also told her Italian mother about the Midwest Special, which is ketchup and grape jelly meatballs.
Where? We watched it together. You just
Hang on. But when I got home, is there a parade? Oh, it's a dog.
dogs.
Because when I got home, then we watched it together.
No, we didn't. We absolutely did not. We did not.
I also made the pasta from Luca, which was like I watched the Binging with Babish episode and then made the pasta, and I was pretty happy with it. I don't love pesto in general.
I do.
So I made pasta, and Eric's, I think I actually made two different pasta shapes. Like I had pasta like spaghetti, and Eric had fusilli because he prefers not spaghetti shapes. Anyway, go see Moana now. I'll work on it. Thank you for the recommendation. Anyway, I made the pasta from Luca because we had pesto because Eric wanted some. So it's like pesto and potatoes and green beans, and you toss it all together, and the potatoes get a little bit mushy into the pasta, so it's like extra creamy pesto, and it was very good. Hello, I just dropped to see how you guys were doing. Hey, Helping Hand, thanks for being here. We're doing great. We're painting at ReaperCon.
Ooh, Sean and Anna Sarah Richard.
Thank you for subscribing.
Thank you. Welcome. I'm trying to. Come on. Oh my god.
It can't be done.
There's a reason we usually stream with a real camera, not the Logitech Brio 4K disappointment cam.
You know, what are you going to do?
And by the way, it's a USB-C webcam, but it comes with and only works with the cord it comes with, which is USB-C into the camera but then regular USB-A, and I think it's 3.0, but it's the regular rectangle shape, into the computer. So my little MacBook that only has USB-C, I have to use an adapter thingy. Ah. What do we have? Gentlemen Broncos.
I haven't seen that, and I know that I should. Thank you so much for the recommendation.
Helping Hand, welcome. Good to see you. Now, what's your favorite Reaper Mini? This happens every time I lean over. Like it goes down.
Oh, I know. We're both fighting that battle.
Take it off.
I'm thinking about it.
I just did.
Breaking the law.
Breaking the law. Breaking the law.
Then how will people know that we're at ReaperCon?
But I know you can't really see it, but this blue is good. I'm impressed. It's better than Talisar blue. Ooh, Brian Daly. Look at those fine faces. Look at that fine face, Brian Daly.
So glad that you're here, Brian Daly, and so glad to meet your friend JT.
Yeah, where's he at? Get him over here. He can pop in. Singing happy birthday to my kids. 1 second. No rush.
Who said that?
Brian.
Happy birthday, kid.
Yeah, happy birthday to the kid. Flutes. My favorite Disney villain is Gaston. But Jermaine Clement as Tomato in Moana is a good one.
Okay.
Tomato in Moana.
Tamatoa.
I haven't seen it.
We had Hawaiian food for lunch today. I liked it. Eric did not.
We did
and
not
that's
have.
Okay.
We did not have Hawaiian food. We had poke bowls.
Okay, it's Hawaiian.
Yeah, but that's like saying, oh, we had American food. Oh, what'd you have? Cheeseburger.
Sure. I was
It's just
making
such
a
a-
connection.
Very narrow.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't meaning for even a moment to imply that poke is like the Hawaiian food.
Bob, it really only works with the cord it comes with? That's no good. From what I understand, USB-C is a mess of incompatible cables. Yeah, so I don't know if it's a USB-C problem, but I think it's a Logitech problem because, like I said, I've had, like, I think 3 Brios, and we always have the same problem, where every single time we've tried it with a different cord from any variety of manufacturer or whatever, it just does not work. So it's one of those things where I think the webcam like has like a authentication chip or something in it. It's absurd. But generally, it's for webcam. It's not terrible, but
Or so we thought.
in the office or in my home office where I've got my full studio lights, it works pretty well.
We initially got one for me because I got...
Yeah, go ahead. I remember where the third one is.
Oh. We initially got one for me because I got a new MacBook Pro. I upgrade my computer once every 8 years, so I got a brand new one, which was very exciting. And I didn't like the way that I looked on camera because it had like a very soft focus, so it looked like I was constantly using like Facetune. And I use my computer for work meetings and to play D&D with our friends, and I don't want anybody to feel like I'm using a face blurring filter on my camera because I'm some sort of diva. People can, that's fine, that's just not my vibe. So Eric was like, oh, I'll get you a Brio, no big deal. And so he did, and now here we are using it, and we've got webcams for days, so much so that Eric can lose one and it's not a problem.
Well,
Misplace one.
I just forgot where it was. So this one, which is yours,
Uh-huh.
I've got the one set up for my work computer under the real camera.
Oh. Mhm.
And then I've got the one that we use in streams on my monitor.
Got it. Sure.
I just couldn't remember where it was. Anyway,
Fair enough.
I think that's a fair difference.
It is. Yeah, especially that it's constantly in use. So,
By the way, shout out again, Gallant Goblin.
woo! It really only works. Oh, you already said. Eric already said that. Great. Just wanted to make sure we didn't miss your comment. It is now 8:48 local time. Things are heating up. Things are getting wild.
Yeah. Late night at Reaper.
I woke up earlier today than I have for as long as I can remember for a time that wasn't a flight that I needed to take. I woke up at 6:30 this morning. I usually wake up at 9:30. So, needless to say, I'm fading fast.
Mm. Uh-oh. Critical Role is live.
There goes our audience.
Well, I'd like to do this blue on my back scales, and then I can be good for the night.
All right.
All
Gotta
right.
go. Peace out. Thanks so much for hanging out, Flute Flute.
Yeah, it was good to talk to you. Thank you.
So glad you were here. Appreciated the chitter chatter.
And for all 6 of you here, if you haven't already subscribed to Flute Salute, go give him a shot.
Gaston. He's especially good at expectorating.
He's especially good at being hidden in the DMG, or the Monster Manual. Fighting a big werewolf that looks kind of maybe like a beast. Alright. Detailed painting turn for me, so you get to entertain our friends.
I don't know The Entertainer. I think that's a song by Billy Joel.
Hold me closer, entertainer.
That's Elton John. What's everybody doing? Anybody doing something cool?
I'm just shocked that Phil isn't streaming some stuff on Twitch or YouTube or somewhere. Phil streams more than anybody I've ever met.
Congratulations, Phil. That's
And
a
I
high
never
honor.
join because I'm horrible.
Well, there you have it. You heard it here first. Phil streams a lot. Eric is horrible. I've got no follow-up. Okay, what do I love about ReaperCon? Chitter-chattering with all of you. It's kind of like a... It's not a vacation exactly. We're 45 minutes from home, and we're staying in an Embassy Suites. That is a very nice hotel. But would it be my vacation destination? No. My vacation destination is wherever my sister and her 3 boys are, and sitting on their couch. So, you know, we all differ in what vacation means to us, and that's what it means to me. But it's something that Eric and I do together every year, and I appreciate that. It's been a staple of our life here in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
It's close, and it's when I go on vacation, I typically travel by myself. I go with my sister. Moves every 4 years because my brother-in-law is in the military, and so I'm always taking a flight to one coast or another. And in the time that Eric and I have lived together, it has been in Chicago and in Dallas, Texas. We're landlocked, so I'm never all that close to my sister on whatever coast she happens to be living on. So when I fly to visit her, I'm usually by myself. And Eric is working because, you know, it's just like family time. He's always welcome to come, but his work is less flexible than mine, and it's just sitting around on my sister's couch, not wearing a bra, because it's that kind of vacation. Like, just be chill, be cool. So this is something that Eric and I do together. We don't travel together very often. And I like it. It's nice. Even, like, travel, you know, be at a hotel. All right. I'm about to stream on YouTube. Happy streaming, Phil.
No self-promo.
Oh, my God.
I'm kidding.
I've been looking at magic items from Tasha's. Good to know, Helping Hand. Are you finding any particular magic items that you like?
Yeah. What's your favorite magic item generally that's not a weapon? Something that's not a weapon.
And Phil is processing all the spells to cast at 50 to 500-foot scale. Hanging here while prepping. Well, thanks so much for hanging,
Ooh.
Phil. Solo quests are epic. I used to travel for work and it was very satisfying. Yeah. I usually fly to see my sister. I try to see her and my nephews at least 3 times a year. So that's 6 flights a year by myself, and I usually travel once or twice for work as well. So I'm a pro. You know what I mean? I'm not pre-check, although we are now. But like,
Yeah, we signed up for pre-check.
I didn't need to be pre-check because I like being the fastest person in the slowest line instead of like just another person in the fastest line with a bunch of business dudes who are just like, like I don't need that kind of energy. I'm fine. I get to the airport with plenty of time because I'm that kind of traveler, and I don't need to be huffy about it. I just like to be chill vibes the whole way through. Anyway, time together is quality time, and I appreciate that. But I have my whole system down when I travel by myself, and
Paper towel. Thanks.
so if Eric does travel with me, like when we have flown together for events or something like that, it can often be like, this isn't the way that I do things.
Yeah.
We drive places together, though. For example, we had the pleasure of driving to Baton Rouge for a wedding last year, which I had flown to solo, and I had also flown for another wedding event by myself to Biloxi, Mississippi, a lovely little town.
Real quick, Phil says pre-check posh, $85 for 5 years.
You know?
I don't think that's too much.
I know. Did I still, like, think that my friends who had pre-check were snobby? Yes. Oh, that's another time I travel by myself every year to visit my friends for our Friendsgiving. So, yeah, I fly almost exclusively by myself all the time, and I really enjoy it. I put in my AirPods so that nobody talks to me. I pretend like I can't hear people. It's fantastic. I'm not rude. I just don't want to chitter-chatter. I'll chitter-chatter with you because this is a controlled setting, and I get to determine when we end the stream.
And most of the time when I fly, it's actually for work.
That's true. All my playtesters love the Adamantium Fortress, rare item. Ooh. That sounds cool. I like the ones in Tasha's that increase spell DCs. No one likes wasting a spell. Oh my gosh, right?
Especially when you're a warlock.
Devastating to waste a spell slot. Well, I really like the wizard spellbook called Protective Verses, an Atlas of Endless Horizons. Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Those are all good items.
I don't read the book, so I have no idea what any of these items are, but I'm really happy that you all are happy. And I mean that sincerely. I think that's great. Your time. It is my time. I love Eric, obviously, and I don't need time apart from Eric, but when I get to travel to see the people that I love, it's nice to be able to fully focus on them.
The other people she loves.
Yeah. I choose to live with Eric 365 days out of the year, so forever. Okay. I get pre-check because without it, my family would never make a flight. Okay. I understand exactly what that means, and that was a really nice way for you to say it. It's also nice. I travel by myself. We do not have children. It's just me at the airport, like I said, with my AirPods in. I am my own person, completely responsible. I don't have like panic at the airport, like many people who don't fly very often. It's just easy breezy.
Yeah, we also get her to the airport super early.
I like to arrive at the airport an hour before boarding. And the longest that I've ever had to wait at Love Field, which is what I mostly fly out of here in Dallas, is like 20 minutes, maybe, on a really bad day when the people behind me were like, we've never seen the lines this long. We're never going to make it, bro. We're never going to make it, bro. We're just going to have to pray, bro. We're never going to make it, bro. And I was like, really? 20 minutes and you're not going to make your flight? You didn't plan ahead, my friends. Okay. No more comments. Well, good. I just wanted to be sure that I hadn't missed anything, obviously. So, I'm doing this thinned out paint thing that all the pros keep talking about. And so far I'm happy with the results. I thinned it out not as thin as I believe most people would have, like actual pros, but it's different for me. And it won't be able to focus, but bear with me. Bear with me if you.
Oh my god.
It actually worked just fine. You know, the lighting isn't good. I understand that, but that's just kind of a function of being at the hotel. But it's coming along. And I'm happy with how it's progressing. It's a slower process when you thin out your paint, obviously, but I feel like there's much more flexibility to get it right if the color isn't exactly what I want. And I just admire people who can do like beautiful soft wet blending so much that I want to be like them, which is a song from the Jungle Book.
I want to be like Mike. I want to be like Mike, and
Yep.
Ike.
That's the song. That's exactly it. You nailed it. I don't know where my, ooh, it actually did okay with folks, right? I've got the power. Bam, 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 bam.
Welcome to the power.
We were talking about brushes earlier. Let me show off mine. I have a cheapo set from Amazon that when I first started painting, Eric was like, no, you can't use my brushes, and I get it. He's particular about his things, and I am not, and thus that's not a good fit. So we have to get separate things, and we can because we're dinks. So my brushes are largely an extremely cheapo set from Amazon that's like for children to paint, and you can see that a lot of the like blue paint on the brushes is peeling off. So there's that. This is my favorite dry brush, and it used to be my favorite brush, but you know how that goes. And yeah, none of them are in the best shape, but they get the job done. I particularly like this kind of rounded one. In the makeup world, this would be like an eyeshadow brush, because it's actually quite stiff. And so when I mess up a color, or if I need to just absorb kind of a glob of paint that I've got too much on, or even like a wash, this is a really good one because it absorbs a lot. It's quite thick, and it's stiff enough that I can get like a clean, crisp line out of a cleanup job. So I really like this for that. The other paintbrushes that I have whatever set this is, Golden Maple. Sounds like an old folks home. Oh my gosh, that looks amazing.
Thanks.
Great color choices.
Well, here, you do it.
Uh-oh, I talked a big talk. Now I got it.
Yeah, it's just too dark.
So we've got a deep blue fish and some light colored spines on the back.
He's not done, to be clear.
Yeah. I have Golden Maple brushes. None of these are very good. That's not true. I use one of these pretty regularly. It's kind of like my main brush. And then I have this random brush that's a hand-me-down from Eric that was so bad that I was allowed to use it, possibly because I had used it. And then I have recent editions of this Mondo Llama set from Target, which I purchased to do art projects with my nephews. But I found it actually quite helpful. I did a diorama this year for the MSP, and having this big old brush was really helpful for two things. One, I used some basing effects that's like grass, but not on everything. And so being able to use this size of paintbrush to really like sweep the grass blades out was incredibly helpful. And I made some things with the air dry clay that included rolling things out using a Crayola marker as my rolling pin, and then it would get stuck to my desk as I was rolling it out. So being able to just use this to kind of like scoot under the edges of my project and then be able to peel up the corner enough that I could slide like a credit card or something under there so that it was actually my old Venture Pass when we lived in Chicago. Anyway, this was super helpful at being able to just pick something up gently without adding a fingerprint to it clay-wise. And that's my story about the brushes that I have. I hope you enjoyed it. I sure did.
I enjoyed it.
think we're packing up now.
Yeah, well, that's what you said, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. We'll be live again tomorrow. If you have any last questions for tonight, go ahead and throw them in the chat. We'll still be here for another minute.
That was a long story. Thanks, Helping Hand.
Keeping it real. And then we'll be live again tomorrow. And also, always, discord.gg/FryMinis if you want to come chat.
We've got photos of the Reaper
Boxes and swag bags and stuff, yeah.
plus the Texas-shaped waffle that I had for breakfast this morning.
And if you'd like to paint, check it out. FryMinis.com/SCPC. That's for the Spud Club Painting Challenge. Just go to FryMinis.com and click on up at the top Painting Challenge. We run a monthly painting contest that has gift cards and PDF prizes, and there are categories between free and premium if you're a patron. And you can get your mini posted up on our website, and you can show everybody that you're a super champion. Check it out. September's theme is Eldritch Galaxy.
I can't wait to see them. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Yeah, and normally we would be announcing kind of the winners for August here real soon, but
we're a little busy.
Yeah.
But soon.
Yeah, very soon. Cool. Thanks for hanging out with us, everybody.
Good night. Thanks so much for hanging out.
Phil, Bob, Helping Hand, Flute, Fred, if you're still here, everybody.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. We will see you in the morning. Bye.